I'm going to be honest about the movie and ourselves, that we are not the artsy-fartsy, bougie-ass, highfalutin motherfuckers that this shit apparently appeals to. Yeah, that's right. I'm talking to you.
Use that as a clip. I agree with that aspect of it though, because like it's some artsy fartsy stuff that I do like and entertaining. Like when we watched Into the Void, like all the years ago, I thought it was an artsy fartsy weird ass movie, but like I still enjoyed it.
I forgot about that movie.
I still enjoyed it. Like that was the vibe I got this whole time watching this.
Yeah, you're right.
It's just artsy fartsy, but I just feel like this took the artsy fartsy too far. But hold on, we'll get there when we get. Okay, with that said, we should probably do our intro since we've been talking around before that. But welcome back to Retro Rewind, guys, and we'll be doing Suspiria. I just feel like I should say it with an Italian accent, but I don't know the appropriate one, and I don't want to get anyone pissed off more than they will be when they watch the rest of this. We have some opinions about this movie that may or may not gel with you, but we want to be honest and open about it. And so, Breeze, what show? Give us a little something to go off of.
Oh, it's Suspiria. It's something. I probably do want to watch it more than one time, but it is a very artsy-fartsy movie. The way I explained it to you guys was it was probably your favorite director's favorite movie. You know, you probably, if you're into horror, maybe your favorite horror director's favorite movie. It's very, I feel like it's very like conceptual and high level, but
yeah,
it's not something somebody like me would enjoy, especially off of one viewing, because
yeah,
it's all over the place. But we'll get there.
We'll go through the movie as it goes.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Which way do you want to do our synopsis, Ryan? It's for you.
So yeah, I have the dubious honor of trying to describe this movie in a way that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Okay. So it seems an American dance student comes to what I'm guessing is Italy and enrolls in a pretty prestigious dance college. And then some fucky shit starts happening and people start dying. And there's a whole bunch of really loud music playing in the viewer's ear, and everything turns red and blue and green. Suspiria.
Oh yeah,
Suspiria. Okay, so we're gonna get to talking about this movie, and like the most jarring part of this movie for me was the intro, because the intro takes place. You get a girl, she comes off the train, and she's going to this school. This girl dies, and then they immediately show. No, I'm sorry. I lied. This girl gets caught in the rain, can't get into school, leaves, goes to her friend's house. They have a chat. Next day, girl goes to school. She dies. They cut to a new girl that looks almost the same as the other girl. And like, I'm really good about faces and differentiating people in like movies and stuff, like even if they're supposed to look similar and stuff. But these three girls at the beginning all look identical. And so that fucked me up for like most of the movie, because I thought it was like reincarnation type deal, or we were watching a bit of the movie and going back. So like starting off the movie was like, that was already a no for me. Because like the intro, and then even before that, it's like, you guys know how I feel about like long, unnecessary scenes. I fucking hate them. Her getting off the train to her getting into the car was like 3 minutes. Why? Because it's like the whole point of the scene is to like show her that she's a little frustrated because she's getting off there, she's in a rush and she's in the rain. So you show her, you show the rain, you show her maybe like drop a bag in the water or whatever, pick it up, get in the car and go. But we saw her walk all the way to the car. 3 cab cars pass her by. Another cab comes up. She gets in the car. We see her put all of her bags in the car. We see her close the door, and we see the cab drive off. And then we see the cab pull up to the place. It's like, bro, that was longer than the entire intro to Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, he literally went across the fucking country. And it's just like those things. It's like, bro, like, I get it. You want a movie to take time, and it's your opening scene or whatever. But I'm like, she didn't do anything. Like, honestly, I almost feel like if the opening scene would have just been her, like, pulling up. And I get it. You're trying to show that she's coming from America, but it's like, I have no recollection that she's coming from America because she doesn't have anything. And I guess at the times and stuff, that may, like, her style of dress or things may have, like, shown that she's that she is American and, like, not from Italy. But at the same time, it's like, looking at this movie, I have no idea this woman is, where the fuck she's coming from, what she's doing, or anything. And I have to spend 5 minutes watching her get to school. Now, and it's like, I don't have any investment in the movie whatsoever, just to start off with.
A lot of stuff wasn't established. I do completely agree with you there. I didn't mind the length of it, because later I did find a lot of other scenes. I was annoyed by later scenes, like you are now with the opening, with those scenes. Like some of the death scenes, I thought those were excessive. But this I didn't mind so much. I don't know why I didn't mind it and you didn't like it as much.
Because I think a lot of this was like, for me, this was an editing thing. It's like when the editor, whoever edited thought this, or whoever thought that part needed more time in the movie. And to me, it seems like you put more time in this part and those scenes got cut short. That's the way I'm looking at it. Like looking at it as a whole project and the whole thing or whatever. It's like, you got to cut, when you're making a movie, you always want to cut scenes here and there to make the movie make sense or whatever. And it's like you said, they cut those scenes shorter later. And I think that's because they could make certain other things too fucking long.
No, I thought those scenes were too long. So I agree with you. I think the movie does
too long as well. Okay,
I think the movie has a big editing problem, but I didn't have any problem with the opening because I did feel like I'm okay with atmosphere. So I'm okay being in that scene, and she frustrated, I'm frustrated. I'm okay with all that. So I didn't mind that there, but some of the death scenes to me later linger a little too hard.
It occurs to me that, like, in modern horror movies, they have sort of a recipe that they do for beginning the movies, where the beginning of the movie is just the first victim getting killed, and then they cut to the quote unquote final girl, the actual main character. In here, they didn't do that. They started off the final girl, and then they did the brunette bitch shell game that completely threw us off. Did we mention that we completely misplaced one character when we restarted the first 20 minutes of the movie because we completely messed that up.
Yeah.
Okay. So all these women, just like Breezy said, they're all brunette. There are 3 brunettes.
Medium length, brown, curly hair.
And we mistook one for the other. We thought that the main character came in and got killed, but instead it was just some other random chick, also brunette, who ran off into the forest and then ran off into some apartment building and got killed. But the thing is, I think the weird thing is that after the main character went into the apartment building, they suddenly cut over to the other woman inside of another random village.
So this is what happened.
Editing is so weird.
Yeah, so they met up because the main character pulled up at I think it was a school, right?
Yeah.
And then the other girl was coming out, and this is a big plot point in the movie. The other girl apparently whispered something to her that the main girl didn't pick up until later on in the movie.
I like that. I love seed planning like that. That is.
That was cool. So other girl comes running out into the rain as our main girl's trying to go into the building. Other girl just books it. And so main girl couldn't get into the building. So she left in the cab, right? Is that what happened? Okay. She left in the cab, and on the way to get to the other place she was trying to go to, she does see the other girl running in the forest.
And let's pause there for a second.
Yeah.
So, all right. You're going to your school, right? And the girl you see in your school, you see her running through the forest.
Right.
And you're in the cab car, you clearly see her. You don't say anything, stop anything, whatever. It's like, it's those things for me that's like, you watch, again, this scene too. We watch her run for like 30 seconds. And I'm like, I get it. If it was supposed to be like a short scene, like, what did I see? Kind of like if you saw like a bear or something run by, you're like, what the fuck was that? But it was like, we focused on her and they lit her up so you can see her. She was the focal point of the fucking scene. So you see her running for like 30 seconds and then we just drive off and then she's dead. And it's like, bro.
No. So this is where it gets confusing. This is where it cuts to black. And now we're in a new scene. We're in a whole new scene. We didn't see like the transition to get here. So like you said earlier, we had this huge one shot of this long ass thing. Then we just drastically cut. And now one of the girls we don't recognize because they're both brunette and white. They're at this place. We don't know how they got there. We don't know if the girl in the cab got there or the girl running. I think we assumed the girl in the cab got there because the other girl was in the middle of a forest.
Right.
So,
but we were wrong.
Yeah, we were wrong.
Because it's the other girl in the forest that we cut to. Yeah. She's talking to her friend about, I got stuck in the rain. And I'm just like,
yeah.
Whoops.
So now the new scene is like, again, another brunette enters the new scene. And so the girl that made it there, who at this point we don't know which girl it is talking to the new brunette. And now we're confused. We're like, I think we probably all assumed it was main girl, right?
Yes.
We assumed it was main girl. Okay. So that's where the horror starts in this scene, essentially. Mm-hmm. So, I guess we can explain this scene.
I also just noticed during the murder scene, it seems as if her hair is suddenly dried itself.
Oh, weird. Yeah.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter.
Even more confusing.
Well, I think that's what, I think some of the shot consistency kind of messed with us too. It's because like, obviously you shoot some scenes out of order and like the it's just like whoever was supposed to do like, I don't even know if it was the job yet, but like the person, the consistency to make sure the scenes line up and stuff like that. I just don't think either the scene didn't exist or that person just took the day off. Because the rest of the movie is not like this. It's really just the first, until the first death.
That one cut right there. It's just, we just cut there and then we're just in a totally different place. Even the art and everything looks different. Like, I mean, the place she was trying to go to looked kind of like a fantastical, it's like a big red building, like out of like Willy Wonka or something.
Hell were we?
Yeah. Well, and it's like, it was interesting though, because like a lot of the things and like the scenes and stuff, like when you actually make it inside of school, is dope because like it looks bougie. Like it looks like a artsy dance school. Like you have this velvet, like I like it because it almost looked like an anime. Because it just looks like a room that's completely out of place. And it's like, why the fuck would you do this? But it's like, in my head, I don't know what a dance studio or art school look like.
It does look like the way that an anime would think that a bougie art school would look like.
I think I mentioned to you guys the Count of Monte Cristo, the anime where it looks crazy, like a painting.
But I liked it though. Like I like the set dressings for like the movies. I like the bold colors, the bold blues, and like that big ass velvety blue thing that they had.
Oh yeah,
it cool. Looked money. Like if I saw that in someone's house, it's like, you got money. I don't know how much money you got, but I can't count that high.
Yeah, it was definitely a feast for the eyes. Every scene was a feast for the eyes.
And like the artsy fartsiness of it, like I did really like it. Like even the scene, like when she's going up to the school, like this is actually one of my favorite scenes. When she's going up to school and she sees the girl through the door and the girl's talking to someone else like while she's in the door. You see like this wind rustling or whatever, and you see like the outside is like super dark. And like it's only lit by like this half doorway, and then you see like it's the school inside is super bright, and I like it. I like the juxtaposition of that because it's like dark and black outside, but like the school is like blue and it's lit up and nice or whatever. But when you find out what actually happens in that scene, it's just like I love the mirror of that because the girl thought she was going into the light in that scene, thinking that like, oh, the school is going to be great and perfect, and the girl's running into the darkness, and you're like, damn, she runs into darkness, is going to be fucked up. But like the flip flop of that is like I love that. I love that artsiness of it. Like I love light and darkness used to show what a character's perception of what they might be going to. And I think that throughout the movie, that's probably the one thing I think they did the best was like the lighting.
Oh yeah,
the colors kind of confusing because it wasn't like red is bad, blue is good type of deal. So like that was kind of confusing. But the light used in the movie, and I think that scene was at the beginning. Like all the stuff I didn't like about the beginning of the movie, that one was like a highlight for me.
Man, I love that. It was confusing. Like, I still don't really know where they were, the two women, when they, all the freaky shit went down. I don't know if that was an apartment, because I believe she left the school and ended up going to like maybe that was a hotel or something. But, I guess we can talk about that scene where, she met up with the girl.
Her BFF.
Yep. And that's when we actually met the monster of the movie, which was a spirit. We still don't really know what it was, but
magic assassin.
I'm going to say Dracula. I'm gonna say Dracula was the villain because vampires, but like, so yeah.
It was something to do with the power of our actual villains of the movie. I don't know if we want to spoil that yet.
I mean, they're watching the review, man. They know it was Voldemort, except he was an old bitch.
Yeah. It was the actual villain of the movie were a coven of witches. We get that very later on during the plot dump. Because we didn't get a lot of plot until the very end of the movie.
Yeah, and I wish they too, like the weird stuff they did out to movie, I wish they would either played it up more or played it down more. Because the way when stuff happened, it's like one character would see it and everyone's like, yeah, that character's crazy, whatever. But they took so much time to show you the thing that was happening. It was a bit
bombastic from the start. I wanted it to be a little bit more, kind of teasing us along.
Yeah, like more like coincidental stuff at first. And then it's like, that's not a coincidence. Yeah. That's weird as shit.
No, right away we got black darkness creature with glowing yellow eyes, and we got hairy arm busting out of a window.
I forgot the hairy arm.
Choked up.
Okay, so that scene in itself jarred me, and it's like the things that bug me about horror movies, thriller movies, or things in general, is just unnatural reactions that people have. And I get it. Some people will just stare at shit when it's happening, but I'm like, that scene in particular, she stared out that window for like 2.5 minutes, and then something's grabbing her and smashing her head against the window, and it's like the no reaction from her or the other girl in the room trying to help her at all. It just, I get it. Everyone reacts to things different ways, but it always bugs me that like every girl in every horror movie has the same reaction in her same nightgown. Like that scene of like is only thing that same changed about that scene over the course of history in horror movies is the amount of clothes that woman is wearing. That's the only thing that's changed. It's like, it just pisses me off because it's like, it's so fucking lazy. Like it was better ways you could have showed her dying. Like that scene, she looks out the window, someone grabs her real quick, cut the scene, 2 seconds, done. You get everything out of that scene, and it's 100 times better.
That's what I say when it was excessive, the killing scenes, because it was a little that.
That's why I call it Gorn.
Yeah. I like horror movies, but I don't like Gorn movies.
Do you see how stupid her face looked when it was being
smashed
against
the wall?
Window?
Yeah. And it lost a lot of the horror for me.
It became a joke at that point. I'm just like, am I supposed to be scared of this creature?
Like, what director saw that and was like, that's the look I'm going for? Whew.
I mean, it was the 70s. I give it some grace because it was the 70s. It was 1977.
I don't because of the other movies we watched that came out in a similar time frame.
No, I give it grace because they hadn't literally. We're here because we're products of decades of them perfecting that.
True.
They didn't have that yet. They didn't have
common sense.
They didn't have the movie monster. Like they had the boogeyman. They had to figure that shit out.
The movie monsters have been out already, though.
They did a good job at not showing the monster's face when they know that it probably would have detracted. Now, the big dumb yellow eyes, yeah, that's kind of dumb, but
I get that. I'll give them yellow eyes because you need to make. Because the yellow eyes, that's how we got our red glowing eyes and everything. Like this, that's how what happened. Like I get it. The yellow eyes are jarring because it's like, could it be the moon? Could it be the stars? And you get these piercing yellow eyes.
Like they didn't have the CG that we have. Like nowadays, we just go into Photoshop. We just do yellow dot, done.
Yeah.
They had to actually get some actual eye lenses, put that up there, and hope that it didn't look whack. So I give them that.
That's what I mean. Like, we watched Blackula last time, and like they thought Blackula was scary because his fucking funeral makeup.
Oh, that's sweat.
We didn't think it.
But also objectively, though, Blackula was a better movie though because it had the acting. I can't even say the acting was bad because I don't think the acting was bad in this movie. The actors were really well. I just think they were acting. If I had to say something about this movie overall, I don't know if the script was for the movie.
You gotta remember, this was voiced over.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. Like the original Italian is the original language of the movie is always going to sound better. It's always going to be better.
I think it was English though, because the mouth movements added up to their.
They might have redubbed it.
I think they just dubbed it to make it sound better because they probably didn't have their mics. Didn't pick up the dialogue on the set or whatever.
That makes sense because it is an old movie.
They used to do that a lot, yeah.
But even with that though, it's like the script almost seems arbitrary. Like the movie, to me, looking at this movie is like what's happening in the scenes is more important than the script itself. Like it doesn't seem like the script and the scenes were like made to like help each other. It seems like they were almost like made separately and like smushed together type of deal. Because like you were saying earlier about like we get the dump of information at the end. It's like throughout the movie, like they don't even say anything. Because my thing too is like with that building up to like this coven that we get to is like the girls we see have interacted with them up until now. Like no one has even said like it's no witch, it's no.
Yeah. We have no idea what it is until we get the plot dump.
The plot dump at the end. It's like the last 30 and like in this plot dump, you get the plot dump the thing happens, the movie's over. And it's like, we didn't even get the plot dump to be able to enjoy the plot dump, to enjoy the rest of the movie.
I think it's one of those movies made for you to... you mentioned it last time we watched it. It's made to, like, you finish it, you watch it, and you rewatch it again to see, like, the signs of everything.
Yeah.
Which, I don't watch a lot of those movies, so that's why, like, I don't really like that type of thing. Like,
same.
I agree. I think people who like maybe Silent Hill would enjoy this more. Maybe. More so. Like, people who like multiple endings in horror games, they probably like stuff like this more.
Yeah, see, well, we do have to realize too that this does have we did find out it has multiple movies and like multiple sequels. Like,
yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
Yeah. Oh, I say, to be honest though, if you're running a secret coven of witches and you got like a whole bunch of, I'm gonna call them cattle, inside, if you find out any of them are actually gossiping about witches, they're probably the first ones you're gonna kill.
True, for sure. And I think that's what old girl was.
Like, hey, she was a little bit more clever than perhaps she should have been. And then she got a little barbed, a little wired.
She was probably my favorite character, though. Like, Barbara.
Yeah, she was proactive.
Yeah, she was the only one that had any common sense in the movie to me, though. Like, she was like, this shit's weird. Like, maybe I should start looking into it, whatever. Because even the main character, it took her to, like, the very end to just be like, until she actually saw everything.
Yeah, she was like, get drugged a lot.
Yeah, she did.
Yeah, but I mean, I didn't mind her character because she was supposed to be like the innocent person in a foreign land that was just trusting and loving and just literally, I loved her innocence in that because it like, she was there just for dance. Like, she wasn't there for any of the bullshit. She really just wanted to dance and be there to fulfill her dream. But it's like, I wanted her to grow as a character, but like, I guess we didn't get that. We got that from Barbara though. Like, Barbara went in the route that I wish the main character would have went.
Well, her name wasn't actually Barbara. That's just a nickname I gave her.
Because
if you're a fan and you're watching this called Barbara, you probably know why.
Yeah. The way she died.
The way she died. But she was the only character that took initiative, like, in the movie. And like
literally, huh?
And another thing that like, it's just a personal beef of mine is I'm gonna call it the Xehanort effect. It's like when an evil person looks evil, like the creepy guy.
Oh, come on, Hans. What's wrong with Hans?
I mean, because my thing is like,
he's so honest. He's so innocent. Just look at him with his knickerbockers.
It wasn't
his comb over.
He was cool teeth. Until that one scene where they're just like, they bring the food or whatever. She says thank you over it. He just stares her down. It's super weird. But I'm like, whatever. We got our lurch, our silent protagonist. I mean, our silent creepy guy, whatever. But he's cool, whatever. But the way the other lady degraded him on the stairs and called him like an ugly piece of garbage for like whatever. And I'm like, I get it. She's like a villain. She's supposed to be one of the villains. And like, that was used to show how much villain she is. But I'm like, that scene, I was just like, what? What are we doing with this? Like, she's a villain. She's already showed herself being a villain in more compelling ways by how she interacted with the girls. So we just had to stop and watch her berate this guy that's also a villain.
Was that Miss Teeth?
Yeah.
Miss Trenchable. Miss Trenchable.
I didn't even think she was a villain. I just thought she was a hard ass,
I think that's
former
how
Soviet.
I think that's how they show villains.
Yeah.
What'd you just say?
Yeah.
Yeah, in the 70s, that's a villain.
I guess. I didn't know who the villains were. That's the thing.
I agree.
It's a horror movie.
With you.
If it was a Disney movie, sure, that's a villain. But it's a fucking horror movie.
In the 70s, there wasn't no former behind.
Fair.
Right. So like,
fair. I mean, yeah.
I'm sorry. I don't even know what.
I mean, I'm just saying. Like, we found out. That she was part of the group of villains.
Turns out the movie took place in Germany, not Italy.
You actually got to push more things in perspective.
Yeah.
Now it makes sense why they immediately hated her. Then, if you have a random American coming to, okay.
Right. We suspected, but we didn't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
But I was like, wow, Miss Teeth right there. She looked like stereotypical evil German. And Hans, his name is Hans. And that kid over there in those knickerbockers, I don't trust him. He's probably the worst. Hey, any time for my hero hate here, that's Mineta right there.
Oh, wow.
It is. Because he reminded me because we were talking about like your favorite director's favorite movie, The Shining Kids. When I saw that kid, I was like, that kid. That's the Shining Kids. That kid's weird. Something about him. Because I'm like, this is an all-girl dance school. Why is this 8-year-old boy here?
Yeah.
Weird.
It was this game I played on the PS2 a long time ago called, What's it
Rule of
called?
Rose?
No.
Damn.
But yeah, same energy. I knew that game.
So which one?
Rule of Rose.
Rule of Rose. Exact same energy. I believe it was called, I forgot the name of it. Something Eternity. And it was a game where it took place in Germany and you rewound time to, solve a murder mystery.
Damn, I can't remember what the name was.
You died every day. Like at
Shadow?
the end of all your Shadow of Destiny. That's what it was called.
Yeah, I want to say it sounds super familiar. Yeah.
I remember watching you play that one time.
Yeah.
And it was just so weird. You were just getting killed.
Yeah. You die at the end of every day. You got to solve the mystery of you dying before.
That's horrifying.
It was a game with like 8 endings. I did like one of them, but the people who like this movie will probably like that game. It's like the same sort of port over creepy kid and fucking Knickerbockers. Yeah. Same.
Okay.
It's cool though, because like we should talk about the art in the movie. The art in the movie is really great. Like the first, we talked about the first, well, off camera, we talked about the first death scene.
Yes.
Like when the one lady gets hung and the other lady hanged.
I'm sorry, I'm that guy. Forgive me.
And the other lady like falls on the ground, and it was like
nothing wrong with hung ladies.
Yeah. Oh, the hanged lady got thrown out of a stained glass window, which broke and killed the other lady who was.
And it, like, the whole scene, the way it started, like it was meant to be an art scene, like from start to finish. Like you fall through a stained glass window, and then like you follow the rope as it goes around, and then it falls as she's hanged, and then like you see the lady falling on the ground. You see like the stained glass windows and like a beautiful mosaic on the ground. You see this blood splatter that looks like looks like the generic blood splatter you see on everything. And then you just go to this lady with like her head sliced open and like these two beams that are perfectly at a 45-degree angle coming out of her chest and her abdomen.
In a hotel that looks like fine art already.
Yeah. A bold hotel that looks like fine art.
Yep.
And it's like
the lady got turned into content.
She did. Because somebody snuff stuff is taking some pictures of that.
You know what that looked like? That looked like it was AI generated.
Dang. No, her fingers look too normal.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Okay. They're getting better.
Hey, man, don't talk about Eric Toriyama like that, man. We should take shots at Toriyama.
We ain't talking about wrist.
That's wrist.
We talking about fingers.
So stupid side note. Someone made a comment that Oda can't draw butts.
Off the fans.
They'll be fine. Say Oda can't draw butts.
I've never noticed.
I've never seen a good ass from Oda.
So what he did was the entire egghead art, all the female characters wear panties, and he put them in like just these weird positions to see their butts. But the thing about it is like they have improved. His butts have improved, and like the scenes he drawn them in, of course they're teenage boy scenes because it's a manga, but they're also like cool action pieces. Like one with like the split flip. That anytime a girl does a split flip and shoots somebody while she does a split flip, coolest thing in the world. Underworld, Kate Beckinsale is a master to split flip. It's just a cool thing to do with girls, but they have to be in a booty suit to do it or panties of some sort. So Otis teared up his butts.
Plot twist: they were talking about male butts.
I mean, fair is fair, man. Each their own. You know what I'm saying? Oda, get out there, draw some man butts. But back to the topic at hand. So where are we at? Oh, we're at with
fine art.
Fine art. It looks like fine art. The two characters died. That death scene was pretty good. Like I thought it was
pretty good.
It gives you an intro to the movie. Like it lets you know off the rip that the movie's going to be like kind of artsy, kind of weird, kind of horror. And I think for what it is, it's like it is a good opening in the sense that like it gives you a good sense of like what type of movie you're going to get yourself into.
My only complaint is that jarring cut in the middle of it where you couldn't recognize like which girl was which. I suppose, I don't know, maybe if you're paying close attention, maybe it's that thing where, when you get people from different places, it's hard to tell their faces, for us, three young black guys.
I think what it is, I think we grew up in a point where like when you get to like the 90s, when they do white girls in the movie, it's always a blonde, a brunette, and a redhead. Always. That's just like the basics they do. And I'm going to say like these are the reasons. This is the reason why. Because like even these girls look very different when you look at them in the face.
Yeah, exactly.
But when you see like brown hair and it's all curled and in the same style because it's the
and
time.
we had just seen each girl too.
Right.
Like
for
they
like
weren't
2 minutes at a time.
Yeah. And they weren't focused on her face till like now. I didn't know what she exactly looked at until the scene where she was at the school. I think that's the first time they did like a.
But I also wonder too if that was part of if the anonymity and the weirdness of it, if that's supposed to be part of it.
Maybe it was.
Because thinking about it from that point of view, if it was supposed to be part of it, like you didn't really know what's going on, and if you're supposed to be just uncomfortable and weird until the movie starts, there's like a prolonged prologue.
Yeah,
it's like I can gel with it. I'm still not a fan of it, but I can understand the mindset of going into it. Like I can understand like taking that route to get there.
Yeah, it didn't kill the movie for me. It just made me a little confused at the start.
Agreed.
And that's not the worst thing for a horror movie like this. You're supposed to be kind of weirded out and freaked out.
And like I said, when you said like you show her face and you realize it, like we stopped and had the realization and figured out like, oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it was night and it was raining, and the second girl who was running away from the school, we saw her from really far away,
right,
on almost all cuts, right, until she suddenly got into the apartment building. Mm-hmm. So it was confusing. Maybe the director could have done better there with differentiating them, but they didn't, so we just got to live with that.
Yeah, I figured it out. I did figure it out. Because I think I asked you guys that, like, is that the same girl? And then eventually I was just like, because the way the plot did, because they mentioned she was from.
They explain it. Like, they do a good job letting you know that they're different women later on.
Yeah.
And, like, it's just.
Yeah, it was a little confusing.
It is a little confusing. It is what it is. But when you get into the movie, like, it starts off like any typical movie you think would start, like, girl goes to dance school. Like, she's meeting everybody, talking to everybody.
I love the setup. I love the setup because it was that, but it was also this, like, magical. The world looks so damn whimsical.
It looks like it looks like an anime because you get into it. What did we say earlier? The dark whimsical.
Yeah, dark whimsical. It reminded me of Roald Dahl. He's the guy who wrote Matilda and Willy Wonka. It reminded me of that same sort of thing. Yeah. Like, for a girl, especially, like, this was a girl's. Almost a girl's Charlie and Chocolate Factory. Like, it's a dance school, and like that's Harry Potter vibes, right?
Yeah,
like,
going off to school to do the perfect thing, and like there were all these other people that loved it.
Yeah, and it was great, and the art kind of backed that up. But then it's a horror movie, like has all this insidious,
and that's like I wish they would. I don't know, because it's like the horror elements they do, and like the dark, like we said, about the light and shadows, like it's done really well. It's just I wish they would have either went. Gave us a little bit, trickled more of the story in.
I think so.
Into the info dump.
Yeah.
As well as like giving us more of the, like, not necessarily ignoring who the villain was, but like kind of like what the villains were about more so until like the very end.
So that's the part of like the lingering scenes, right? Because the lingering scenes were just freaky stuff happening. Like, the time she was like out sneaking, at night or whatever, the friend, it was like red everywhere, and it's like you don't know exactly what's happening. I feel like that time, instead of like showing that scene in full, which was probably almost like a 8-minute scene or whatever.
Yeah, that was long.
It was a long scene. It was a long sneaking mission,
but it was actually pretty cool. I actually, for all the lingering things that I didn't like, I actually liked that one because it did have consequences. Mm-hmm. That's why we call her Barbara now. But the other lingering scenes.
Yeah, like the which was the other one? The sleepover. So before the sleepover,
what the hell was that supposed to
be?
Before that, we got the maggots. The maggots led into the sleepover.
So the maggot scene, I like that one because it started to get more weird, and it was like, all right, it's like one. Where do you got his maggots from? Right. It's just weird. But then, like, you see, they go to this creepy mission. They find like this treasure chunk. And it's full of rotten food. And it's like, all right. It's like, in the world, you're like, okay, well, that explains, like, some of the maggots, I guess. It's kind of a lot, but, like, whatever. It's enough for, like, them to smoosh it over.
It's
Keep
weird.
Your food in your attic?
That's what I'm saying. Like, the maggots they don't really... It's freaky, right? But
it's
it doesn't...
just freaky.
It's just freaky. It doesn't make you think of witches or nothing like that.
No, I agree. Yeah. It doesn't do any of that. But I'm like, for what it...
It led into the sleepover, which I guess was a pivotal scene because you have.
Was it though? Because what actually happened?
It established because that's the headmistress. The headmistress was there.
Yeah, the coven mistress.
The coven mistress.
All it told us that she snores when she sleeps,
and for some reason she also joined the sleepover. So, which makes me think of this, right? Imagine if this was a different movie, like The Mummy, say. And oh no, all of your food's rotten and now maggots are falling. You have to sleep outside. So everyone has to sleep outside in a big sleepover. And also the mummy is sleeping over with your sleepover too because he's just such a cool guy. Mr. Amenhotep just wants to be part of the group too. Why did the main villain? Why was Sephiroth at the sleepover?
That's why I was trying. The whole time it was so jarring.
I think
why
just
was Xehanort at the sleepover?
I think just to show her before we get to the, they try to like throw.
But that was completely irrelevant. We already knew she was the villain. Like from this scene here, like when the first time we see her drugged her, she's the one talking about the drugging.
No, we're talking about the old.
No,
talking
about
yeah.
Start with the M. What was her name?
Churchbull.
No, I mean the actual head
the corpse. The
Her name was like something. It was like a normal ass, but started with the M. Like,
I don't know. I couldn't remember the names because I was barely keeping up with the movie
or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, Crypt Keeper.
Yeah, Crypt Keeper.
Yeah.
So Crypt Keeper was just at the sleepover, just
just freaking them out,
because reasons.
Creepy. Yeah,
but
and it lingered so long.
We didn't even learn anything new in that scene.
I will say, her being at the sleepover did make me, it made me less suspicious of her, because why the fuck would the main villain be joining the sleepover? I mean,
I thought they were going to do a turn at the end of her being like the actual savior, or her trying to, save the girl from something, but she was actually just the villain. There was a reason for her being there though, because before that, the other best friend set her up. I think she set that up because she mentioned she
sleeps about the weird sleeping snoring.
Did she say that? I forget. I remember she mentioned her.
Barbara did point out the fact that she snores weird.
Okay. Yeah, and when they showed her, she had that weird snoring. I was like, that's how I know it's her, because of the weird snore.
So they set that up. It was a setup to the end, I guess. It didn't do anything for me, but they set it up.
It was that what was the wood doing moment for me.
Yes, it was exactly that. It was exactly that from not Body Snatchers,
Mist.
Yeah,
the fog.
The fog.
Oh,
because it was just the scene that happened, and it was like, okay, it happened, but like did we learn anything in this?
And it was a long scene.
It was a long scene. You didn't even get a titty pop because it was the 70s. So I'm like, what did this scene do?
Also, I don't know if I wanted to see that because I still don't know if she's like college age or if she was supposed to be high school.
I agree. But I mean, like any other horror movie, like the whole scene of the girls being all together was like, it would be some type of nudity in it. And that would be the point of the scene.
They could have did more with that scene in terms of horror. I expected them to do more. I thought like something crazy was about to happen, like,
And we didn't even get our creepy music in that scene.
Oh, we didn't get the creepy
music. We haven't talked about the creepy music
yet. Because I was expecting the creepy music to happen in that scene because nothing was happening. But I was like, I felt like if I would have had the creepy music there, I mean, it wouldn't help because this music is not creepy. But like, from their point of view, that creepy music would have made things more creepy for the scene.
More tense. You see that.
But let's talk about this Casio creepy music.
Oh, yeah.
And how I have never been more excited that equalizers exist than our journey watching these old movies.
Yeah, I don't mind it nearly as much as you guys. You guys are like,
no. It was physically painful in some places. That music,
because it's spiked up.
Yeah.
So
it was loud as shit. I will admit that.
I hate it when you use actual physical discomfort to the viewer in order to do something in your story. Like in here, she was actually wigging out. She like had some sort of spell cast on her at the time that was like draining her vitality, I think. And to represent that, they had that music blasting. And you could see her like stumbling around with her head hurting. But I was hearing the couch with my head hurting too, because it was so damn loud. That reminds me of an Elden Ring. One of the final bosses, whose name I'm not going to say, you fight this final boss in a giant dark ring, and all this final boss's attacks cause gigantic golden flashes. And this boss is just flash banging the hell out of you. And it gets to the point where I actually had to stop and rest my eyes after every few attempts because fighting that boss hurt. They did that, but to my ears.
Dang.
No, I feel that. I agree with you. Like, I never fought that boss, but I understand the sentiment because that shit was painful.
I'm going to show you guys a video later.
Cool. I've seen the boss.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
wow.
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
Just,
again, like it goes back to what I'm saying. Like, you shouldn't need music or anything else to convey the weirdness of the scene. Like, all you gotta do is tilt the camera, make her go a little woozy, do a little blurring effect. done. I get it. Some of that stuff you couldn't do at the time period, but like the tilting the camera, or just going back and forth and stuff. But it was like, it just, to me, it was like, all you did was like turn the music up and just piss me off. Yeah. Like anytime that music played, I just got immediately was just mad. Like,
this one, out of all the movies we watched, this one was the most egregious because they would always play and always get loud as hell to where you could barely hear the dialogue.
Dude, that's what I mean. Like, it was worse than the Homer and Eddie one because of the fact that like when we saw Homer and Eddie, it was annoying, but I could still hear what was happening. So like now, I'm already like kind of annoyed because it's an artsier movie. So like I'm having trouble keeping up. Then it's like I get this loud ass music that's wrecking my fucking brain. And then the scene that I'm trying to pay attention to, actually nothing's happening.
True. That's
what I mean.
That's probably why they play music.
I'm just like,
there wasn't a lot going on in the scenes. Again, it's like, I feel like it's one of those movies where I think the fans of the movie probably, there was like a lot of visual details they took in each scene that they liked. Where, you know, I don't know what the...
I mean, I can understand that because, like, the one scene where she was like, after she got drugged and she was disoriented walking down the hallway, and like the lady, the little boy, and the other one of the witches was like there, and they were like staring at her for a while. And it's like, all right, so she walks around the corner, she goes to that scene, she walks past these people, it's weird, they kind of see her, they think she's there, they think she's not there, whatever, and it's like, all right, cool, and it's like that's cool, but it's like. Something happened in that moving scene. I was like, if the stealth area you're going through, if nothing's happening, and then what are you?
Speaking of stealth, I gotta tip my hat to the character. She used the stealth strategy of run past really fucking fast.
I spiritually, I love that because that's how I do my stealth games. I'm horrible at stealth, so like shout out to her because I love that strat.
Sometimes Metal Gear Solid. You gotta fucking book it, man.
Hey, man, you just gotta, sometimes it just shuffle over real quick and it's good to go.
Secretly, I think that's what Batman does when he disappears.
Just scurrying, I guess is the appropriate word.
Like, where'd he go? This motherfucker booked it. Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, a lot of that stuff is recontextualized once you find out everybody was witches, because like the little boy and his mean looking mama, they're witches. They're witches too.
All right, let's talk about the dog scene.
Yeah, that's a good scene.
Hey, it was one of the
series of scenes.
Yeah, his character arc.
Yep,
the guy's character arc was
Yep.
I liked it, but the villain in that sense was kind of cartoon. It was kind of cartoony. Like I did like it, but the fact that like they were like, your dog mauled this kid. And the dude was like, my dog would never do that. And they show you the dog not do anything. So, like, you know something's amiss. But then you're just like, in my head, since this is like a horror, I get it. It's the 70s. So, like, I probably shouldn't have this argument. But I'm like, bro, show me the person. Like, you telling me, like, this dog has mauled this person and did all these things or whatever. Like, the dude's having this breakdown. And, like, Miss Churchbull is, like, beating him out of the classroom and calling him a piece of shit and blah, 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 blah. But it's like, we never see this little boy mauled. I mean, obviously we know he doesn't get mauled, and we know we don't know. I don't know what he is. Still don't know what he is.
I need to see. Does he pop up? Does the little boy pop up again ever in the show?
I think one more time, like towards the end.
Towards the end, like, he's in a room with
all the witches.
All the witches at the very, very end. I would say. But like after, because it's like the dog scene. Like after, because did he show any level of suspicion?
Who the blind guy?
The blind guy.
The suspicion towards what happened? He was mad. He just knew it didn't happen. He was like, no, my dog.
No, I mean, like, the reason why they killed his dog. Because my thing is, like, everyone else, all the women was...
they didn't kill
dog killed him.
Oh, you're wondering why they wanted to kill him?
Yeah, why they set him up. Because, I mean, because everyone else they killed the woman because they're trying to take their vitality or whatever. And I was like, I was wondering why they killed him.
That's a good point. I actually don't know.
I mean, they had really unkind words for each other. Like, he told them about themselves, and they told him about himself.
Yeah,
and he was
but that was after they said that your dog killed him, though. I mean, mauled, right? Just said that they. Well,
mauled.
They said he mauled him, but I mean, like,
I doubt that there was any mauling that went on.
No, agreed, but I'm just saying. I don't even think he didn't get bit
either. It was just they were just trying to.
They were trying to gaslight him so they could kill him.
Just kill him later.
They needed him to get because you notice everyone they killed them when they weren't, quote unquote, at the school. They were trying to leave the school or go to that apartment building or whatever. And it's like,
well, I mean, Barbara got killed at the school, but
again, she was trying to leave the school.
Maybe he actually did get bit. Maybe that's maybe he actually did get bit. And
it feels like a witch I was gonna say Karen, but I don't like saying Karen. It feels like that evil little kid with the knickerbockers probably got bit, and the witch mama,
the dog,
or just by being German and evil. Racism.
Because I mean, I guess that if I would have got the scene of like you showed me the calm dog and you showed the kid like doing next to the dog and like even giving him like an evil face or something,
there was that point. They were outside. You could see the kid and the mama. I can't remember what they were doing. I think they were just.
Well, the kid did. He walked past the dog and he touched the dog. Then they say the dog bit him, but we never see the kid. That's what I'm saying. It's like. As a viewer, I need proof. Like, he doesn't necessarily need proof, but as a viewer, you need to give me something to say, like, because you're just showing me, like, we saw the dog, we saw the kid next to the dog, and they're like, your dog mauled this kid. Yeah. And it's like, as a viewer, we know this bullshit because we don't know they're witches at this point, but I'm like, we know something weird's going on. Yeah. And so, but my thing is, like, why did they go for him? Because I mean, like, even as a petty witch thing, it's like the reason they were killing these girls is to take their youth, so they can the whole witch thing take the youth, and it was like it just didn't make sense for him to die.
No, I think it was legit. Because I think when I watched it, I thought this like they did that scene. The kid looked at the dog, blah blah blah. The dog, they already established that the dog never bites anybody, so the dog bit the kid. And because the kid had all this malicious energy or whatever the fuck in him, so the dog sensed that. Yeah, so the
didn't like knickerbockers.
Yeah, dog bit him, and then the witches was like,
"Stupid shorts,
fuck this." The dog, you gotta go. The owner has to go because you didn't, It was just a petty thing. That's all. As a viewer, it didn't bother me at all because my brain followed that trail of events to that situation.
I didn't. I mean, hear you guys say it, like it makes sense. Yeah, but like I just think it could have been done. Even the petty could have been done better.
I didn't give a lot of thought to you just mentioned it, but I just
it felt like something like if the customers we deal with on a regular basis had witch powers.
Exactly.
It's the sort of shit that they do.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
Which
exactly.
is another way of saying Karen.
I get what you mean because it was completely unnecessary. I get exactly where you're coming from.
And it's like, and not even unnecessary fact. Like, I get the petty aspect and I get that makes sense. I just like, for it to be seen as that, I just feel like, I just don't feel like it was conveyed well. Like, I definitely understand it as you guys explain it. And it is tit for tat the way it is. I missed it. Yeah. And like, I still find it jarring to just be like, because then too, the scene, again, I'm a bitch about the scene being too long. Like him walking his dog and then like his dog taking like 5 years to fucking bite him. It's like, bro, we know what's going to happen.
I did not know the dog was about to do that. Well, I thought he was about to get
what I mean, like we knew he was going to die. Yeah. We knew he was going to die. And it's like this, I get it. Like you want the build up to whatever. But my thing is like, when I know a character's going to die, just get the death over with. Cause I'm like, this shot is a super fucking long shot. So we see the dude here and the camera's back fucking here. And we're spending 5 minutes watching this until the dog finally bites his neck. And then we get a super fucking close up of the dog biting his neck. And I'm like,
I think it was done very well.
Me too.
Well, even with the tension, it had me, even though we know what's going to happen. Well, we sort of knew what was going to happen. I did not know it was going to be the dog to do it.
I did because you just explained how petty it was. Petty. Like I got the petty win because my thing is like
was going to do
the moment they said the dog mauled him and he started walking with the dog was going to kill him because
I didn't know that. I don't know either.
I guess I understand the petty from a different point than you guys did.
Yeah, okay. So you got a little bit of that sociopath part. And,
all I'm saying is I've worked in food and retail for a long time. I've thought a lot of these things and thought about how I can do them.
You ever have that question posed to you about the "Are you a psychopath?" question?
I think technically all those I will fail them or pass them. Whatever the thing that says I'm a psychopath.
Okay. All right. Well, But yeah, I actually really liked that scene. It had me. It was actually the only scene in the entire movie that actually had me like sitting on the edge of my seat, and I think it was all because of how badly the blind guy was freaking out. He did a really good job portraying that. You motherfuckers want something? Come get it!
Oh, he was leaving the room.
I was just like, he was out here just looking around like, I know something's wrong.
Yeah. I liked him though. I think the blind guy, him himself, I think he did, I loved him because like the scene where he was just talking shit and leaving, I felt that. When she kicked his cane over and he was still like, no man, fuck this. I don't care. Don't disrespect my dog. Blah, blah, blah. He's just going off like, I felt that.
I like that. That was really good too.
Yeah. To me, that was the only scene that deserved the length they gave it, because it was, the tension was there, and it was the logic of how he died. It wasn't just like a random, like, I feel like all the other kills felt kind of randomish.
Yeah, who keeps a barbed wire in their attic? Man?
Yeah,
keep that down in the basement.
Yeah, that was like a little bit of hidden temple, Legends of the Hidden Temple.
To me, the vibe I got from that is someone got out that way and they said never again. Because
barbed wire everywhere.
Because think about it, that's one of the ones where you make like you playing like Clash of Clans or something, and like your castle get hit from the left side, so now left side is the most fucking fortified thing in the world,
right?
So because I mean that room, it was a drop into that barbed wire. So someone dropped down and got out, and she was like, it was never again.
She probably could have survived. She had stopped going like, oh no, barbed wire.
The quicksand,
yeah. But I'm like, Saw made sense. Because that opening scene, was that first Saw or the second Saw? But that Saw scene was shot for shot, that scene.
Ouch.
But I agree, like most of the death did see kind of like random and kind of random. Excessive.
Yeah.
But I guess going with the whole witch's petty aspect of it, and I guess that would feed into it and make more sense of like why the deaths were as
I think if ridiculous as the deaths were like the dog, like he got killed by something he loved and trusted. If more of them were kind of like that, I probably would have liked the movie a lot more. Yeah, like thematic deaths.
Thematic deaths, yeah.
Yeah, it would have been cooler.
That was
I wonder if they were thematic and we're missing the themes though.
Oh, well, if her name was Barbara.
If her name was Barbara. We should really find out her real name one of these days.
Maybe hers was thematic because she was trying to escape and she got trapped.
I mean, she's trying to escape a prison. That was my thought process. Like her for thematic, I'm like, she's trying to escape a prison. She's trying to escape a prison. And so, how do you kill someone trying to escape a prison? Put barbed wire around the fence.
What about first girl? She got killed by fine art.
She was beautiful. She was beautiful.
Yeah, first and second girl both killed by fine art.
For me, the thematic one, what I would say with those is they tried to run away, so they put them stationary. It's like you're trying to run away, so we hung you so you can't move. We tried to run away, so we pinned you to the ground so you couldn't move. Type deal. Like, I mean, if I was going to be the wanky, artsy, fartsy type of thing that it is, it's like, that's kind of what I would, it's kind of how I would sell it.
Stick your neck out to tell the truth about our school.
Snap.
We're going to elongate your neck. But, yeah.
No. You know what? I think you're right on all parts.
I'm bullshitting, bro.
No.
That's
we're talking about.
We're talking bullshit.
They tried to escape school.
Yeah.
And they all dropped out.
They did all drop. She was hanged. She hit the ground. She fell into the barbed wire. She kicked his cane. And he fell to the ground.
Oh, no, did he fall?
She kicked his cane. He grabbed his cane and he fell.
I feel like because I remember he was going to walk past it and I was like, no, because I thought he was going to like trip over it.
He felt for it and picked it up.
Oh, he did pick it up. Okay.
He did pick it up. Okay. No, he went out there. He went out with dignity.
I mean, before that, he dogged her out.
I like how you just mental gymnastic everything.
I'm just saying, man. He called her a bitch.
He did bark at her. He ain't had no bite though. He got bit though. So after,
can we remember the rest of the plot? Okay. Her friend got killed. Barbara got killed, and so she contacted Barbara's friends and.
Right, the
psychiatrist.
Psychiatrist.
Yep. So psychiatrist, she went to visit him. I think he was in somewhere else entirely. Maybe Barbara's hometown.
That was our plot dump.
That was the plot dump. Yep.
Yeah, because the psychiatrist. Who else did they talk to? It was a psychiatrist and it was another guy after the fight. The cultist. Yeah, you were seeing that occultist. Yeah, the two of them. Like that scene. I was like, bro, if you gave me the scene probably 15 or 20 minutes earlier in the movie, I would have a much higher opinion about the movie.
Completely different movie.
Because it's like I said before, you didn't get to enjoy the plot because you got the plot and then the fucking movie ended.
Yeah, if we just knew more details from the start, like, newspaper clips, something. You could have did something a bit earlier.
Yeah, or like, even if we saw more scenes of like Barbara talking to her therapist and like we got snips of like, of her saying stuff like, hey man, this happened, this happened. And he's like, nah, blah, 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 I'm a therapist.
You know, one of my favorite ways to convey to plot dump without having it look like a plot dump is through the intro. And in the intro, you just do like I call it like the Marvel snapbook opening, where you just see like a bunch of historical lore pieces, books, newspaper clippings.
Yeah, I always like that intro.
And yeah, if you're just like talking about witches throughout all that, you can say what the movie's about without saying anything.
Yeah.
And then you just start the movie and they have that in the back of their head.
You know, another one that's favorite, like I like similar to that, is like when the character's like reading a book that may be like the mythology that the story's about, or like watching a TV show that's like watching a TV show in the show, or watching something that is like, or watching a news channel that's in the show. When they have something like that, because it was Prey. It was the intro to Prey. Like, I don't really like the game too much, but like the intro to Prey.
Which one? The original or the new one?
The new one. The original one. I love that game. People hate it, but I fucking loved it. But the new one is like, the intro is like you're in your apartment, you're getting ready, and like the news is on the TV, and just news playing. And it's like, realistically, it looks like a normal day to day, nothing special. It's like dude making coffee, whatever. But if you're listening to it, it's telling you stuff about the world and stuff, and it's the same vibe. Like, I just love like any instance you can do that. Like, tell me lore dump me without lore dump me.
Yeah, I'm still wondering why they chose to do it the way they did it. It had to be a reason. I just don't think it was I don't think it might just looking at the movie. I don't think it was a better point to put it in the movie. The way the movie is as it is now. Looking at it, I don't know a better point you can put it in the movie the way it is. Like, if you change the stuff around, you can make it in a better spot. But the way the movie is, I just don't see a better spot you can put it. Yeah, I really want to understand like what the point, why they did that. There had to have been a point. If there wasn't a point, it's a bad idea. But if they were going for something specific, you know, maybe it was a rewatch thing. Maybe it's like you got to rewatch it to really get how everything's happening. So if that was their intention, they accomplished it. Me having to rewatch and get more context, then okay.
I guess. I mean, that's what you're looking for. But for me, I just don't. You wouldn't have a way to introduce those characters. I wish we had a way to introduce those kids, because the only reason she called her therapist or whatever is because she died. Like, so unless you remove Barbara earlier on, the main character has no reason to even
talk to those people,
because none of the weird stuff actually happens to her, because she's a moron, so she doesn't realize she got drugged 80 times, so she has no idea anything's weird happening. So I think that when Barbara dies, that is the first weird thing that she knows happened. Oh, I see. And that's why we get the lore dump afterward.
Oh, because Barbara was the one awake when the...
Because Barbara didn't know she died. They thought she ran away.
Exactly. So she was trying to find her.
Right. That's right.
So, like, if...
Dense main character.
Yeah.
Very.
Yeah. So, honestly, like, if the main character... The reason the movie is the way we do, because our main character is an idiot. If our main character is any more observant, we get information earlier. I think the intent was to... We are viewing the story through the main character's eyes, even though we're not, because we have a bunch of different point of views and see a bunch of different characters. We know the information that the main character knows, and I think that's why we got the lore dump late.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Overall, how did you guys enjoy the movie? I admit, I enjoyed it for what it was. It felt like maybe an art student-ish his first foray into a movie, and they did the best they could there. I hope that I'm not like insulting some genius.
But I mean, you know, a geniuses have to start somewhere. It
sucked. But I enjoyed it. I actually did enjoy it. I'm not going to watch it again, and I'm not going to watch the sequels unless you guys do. But I enjoyed it.
No, I'm probably gonna watch the remake of it eventually.
I'd watch that.
Yeah, I want to see like if they kind of reinterpreted and kind of structured it a little bit better. I think that's my problem with it. Kind of is structure.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah,
that's like my biggest beef.
Yeah, because like if you put the concepts on like a whiteboard and you show me those, I'm like, yeah, that sounds like a really good idea. But the just kind of sitting through a lot of those scenes, a lot of the scenes that linger were not very important, and a lot of the scenes that need to linger a bit more, they didn't. So yeah, I
agree.
So I did not enjoy the movie, but I wanted to, and I think like if I watched it again, I would enjoy it more, perhaps. But it's not my cup of tea.
To be honest, I liked the movie more after us talking about it, to be honest. Like, I came into the movie thinking I went into the movie knowing it's going to be kind of weird and not really know what the fuck to I left the movie kind of hating it. Yeah. And like sitting on it for like a week or so and like talking to you guys about it, I realized I like a lot more about the movie than I initially thought. Like, I didn't like the movie as a whole, but it does do a lot of things right. Like I said, like the lighting and darkness I really like. I do really like the colors. I think all the actors were like cast well and like did a good job. It's just that they were working with like whatever they're working with.
You know what it is? We talked about the editing earlier. I think even this movie, if it was re-edited, I would like it more.
Yeah,
I think that's really.
We just said the structure, right? The whole structure of the movie is it, and like that's
yeah.
Oh, and that music, please, equalizers exist now. So like, Jesus Christ,
yeah.
But yeah, final take. I don't want to watch it again. I have no desire to watch it again. But I do appreciate. I am glad that I'm watching. I'm glad we talked about it because I feel a lot better about the movie. Having come away from it and having talked about it, but at the same time, like I do think this movie is just artsy fartsy for the sake of artsy fartsy, and like take with that what you will, hate me or love me for it. I think this movie is just unnecessarily artsy, and and anytime it loses itself is because it tries to be more artsy than contextual for the movie. And I think and it's hard though, because like and I think this is the blend of like, with the perfect reason that you need to have a team. Like if someone is super creative and somebody is like, super logical, they need to be on the team because you have a bunch of creative people making creative shit. It's never going to fucking work because it's never going to be logical. It's not going to be, like, if you need to make something, it won't work. And the same thing with logical. You make a bunch of logical thing, everything's going to look industrial and it won't have any flair to it. You know what I mean? So it's the blending of both that I think, and I think this just missed the mark on the blending. Like it didn't mix all the way.
Actually, I want to see who got final cut rights on it because I'm thinking maybe the director did.
Some extra shenanigans.
Yeah, because the final cut of the movie is very important. Sometimes the directors get to do it. Sometimes it's like a studio. Yeah. So I'm very curious.
Zack Snyder. Snyder Cut's better.
Super curious who got the final cut on that. But yeah, I think I would like to watch it because, they have the director's commentary on it. I think I will rewatch it with the director's commentary.
I don't know if I watched it or just have it in the background and maybe turn around for a couple scenes.
I'm going to check that out just to see like what the director wanted to do.
Director's apology. The framing is important. And just like you said, like logical framing is really important. Just tell a good beginning, middle, end story. And then you have the flair added on top of that framing. It looks like they did flair first and didn't really understand how to frame a movie at the time. And I would like to see the remake, see if they've, this is like 30 years later or something.
Something like that.
40, because it's 2018.
Yep. Oh, see if in 40 years they managed to pass that cinematography, cinema design class.
Hey, it's free on Amazon Prime.
It's your favorite. Damn it. It's your favorite director's favorite director. You know what I mean? Like you said. So it's probably, I imagine whoever did remake it was such a fan of it, and they took it like we would talk about anything else we're a fan of. Like if you're such a fan of something, you realize the flaws in it, and you do what you can to fix them. So I mean, all in all, let us know what you guys think.
Actually, one more thing. I think it will make a really good video game. Like, you go to a boarding school, freaky shit's happening, and, you got nighttime, you got like, inspect the halls without getting caught by this weird thing.
I like that. Make it, give me multiple players. Make it like what was who should get it? The Beyond Two Souls team, or like the Heavy Rain team. Give it to them. Give me like a cinematic story game where I get multiple point of views. Give me Barbara. Give me our main character.
We just gotta stop calling her Barbara. It's so disrespectful.
I think it's something with an S, but I can't remember.
No, her name is Barbara. Give me Barbara, main character.
It's Barbara.
And then I want to, and then give me, after I beat those two, give me the witch's point of view, the main witch.
Oh yeah,
yeah. And I think that'd be a good one.
Yeah, we didn't have enough for the witch. I would enjoy that. I would like it though as like a PS2 era Japanese horror game. Yeah, like a Rule of Rose or or Haunting Grounds.
I can see that. Yeah, I mean, you do have a ditty main character, so having Ashley playthrough, I guess, would make
the whole game would be like an Ashley playthrough.
Yeah. Well, then if we do it like that, then I say the new game, the other version of it should be, you chase her, like the whole, like you play as the queen, and you're doing all the little bits to get her,
or play as a dog.
troll the whole way through. Yeah. I like that idea though. Crunch. Yeah, but let's know what you guys think. So, I mean, sure, somebody's gonna cuss us out and say like it's not winky. It's art. It's perfect. It's
fine
artiste. And that's fine. You're entitled to your opinion, even though I think it's fucking wrong.
Damn.
But tell me about it. That's cool. Because you might think my opinion's fucking wrong. And that's also cool. We can have a conversation about it. Because like I said, it's a lot about this movie that I do like. It's more that I don't like. And that's, it is what it is. Mm. So with that being said, may best stay warm, your pillows stay cold.
Stay perfect, chat.
Peace.